Colts are 2-0. They beat the Broncos 29-28. Reason to celebrate, you would think so. What's wrong with these people? The Colts are 2-0. The Broncos are 1-1. And that's the bottom line. The Colts are 2-0. The Colts are 2-0. The Colts are 2-0. Here's our reaction with Will Retherford, Sam Frick, John Robertson, and Michelle Garmon. The Colts are 2-0. The Colts are 2-0. The Colts are 2-0. The Colts are 2-0. Here's our reaction with Will Retherford, Sam Frick, John Robertson, and Michelle Garmon. The Colts are 2-0.
Welcome, Colts fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, for this Colts Report with co-hosts Will Retherford and Sam Frick, and of course, my sidekick, Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader sports editor Michelle Garmon, and some guy who doesn't even like the Colts and shows up anyway, our fever guy, John Robertson, who is looking forward to a Raiders game, right?
Yeah.
When do they play? Monday? Apparently, John was offended by me saying he wasn't a Colts fan. He just took off. But
No, am I back now?
he's back now. Guys, what a win tonight.
Always good to be gifted ones. Feels good.
Hey, guys, I don't care about officiating when they lose. I definitely don't care about officiating when they win. The officials call what they call. Don't give a crap about a bad call. Don't give a single crap. The Colts won. Against
I just said they were lucky.
And played very well the entire game. And deserved to win a game.
Yes, but in defense, we didn't put ourselves in a good spot either with our penalties. We had 11 penalties in this game.
Sure.
That was a big reason why we were in this ball game to begin with it being that close, because it was a lot of penalties. We also didn't give off third and fourth down and less than ideal situations. I can't imagine what Denver fans are feeling right now with the way that game handled towards the end. But at the same time, it was the right call. I think the right call was made at the end.
Denver fans, guys, what is wrong with you? The Colts just beat the Broncos, and you guys are acting like it's a freaking funeral.
No, I agree. I know. I don't disagree.
29 points against one of the best defenses in the league and had 400 yards of offense. You guys are acting like it's a freaking funeral.
Hold on. I have to step. Do you think the defense was that good? Because I thought the Broncos defense didn't look
broke, and they still won the game.
Well, that's
both
fair.
defenses were
Yeah,
great.
and I don't think Broncos defense was very good today either. So
that's what I meant. I was just
tremendous. The blocking up front was amazing. And you guys are
Greg, the Colts got some luck involved in that.
So what?
Well,
they're 2-0.
What I'm saying is, I'm not going to go all celebrating like they're a world-beating team.
They're not. They're 2-0. Who gives a shit how it happened?
Yeah, it's hard to win in the NFL. You got to take them when you can get them.
We beat the Denver Broncos today.
To be fair,
by the way, there were some questionable calls against the Colts as well. Do I need to remind anybody of that?
No, but Shane Steichen looked like Captain Dipshit for the better part of a minute and a half as far as that final 2-minute drive. It had not been for the 15-yard penalty. He coached horrible down the stretch with clock management 1 and 2, just completely uncreative. I love wham blocks. I love this, that, and the other, but they were bringing 9 in the box, and you've got to look for something else. They could have been given a 20-yard field goal if you would have just found tight ends on mesh concepts in the better part of the last 2 minutes. He refused to do that.
Did I mention the Colts just beat the Broncos?
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with everyone?
Look,
this is to analyze their performance, Greg. Yes, we can be happy they won. And
yes, they just beat one of the best teams in the NFL. I'm analyzing their performance. They just beat one of the teams in the NFL.
No, they did not.
Time out.
Wait, whoa. Yeah, I'm gonna. As a Raiders fan, I watch the Broncos more than I watch a lot. I don't think they're one of the best teams in the NFL.
I think in the playoffs last year and had the number 1 defense in the NFL last year. Is that good enough for you?
But they weren't the best team in the NFL last year. They barely made it into the playoffs because of that defense.
All right. Seriously, at this point, I'm just going to demand that we not be negative about a win over a good team, please.
Hey, I want to give a couple of breakdowns here real quick. So I want to get some good on here too, if that's fine with you. Okay. I want to give a couple of credits to the Colts offense for its due. Daniel Jones still looked efficient. I don't think he was as good as he was in week 1, but he still looked pretty darn efficient. You know, he passed for over 200 some yards, 23 of 34 completion, 107 QBR. And then Jonathan Taylor was amazing today on the ground, receiving him. He ran for over 165 yards. I thought Tyler Warren was amazing again at tight end. He's just such a game changer at tight end for the Indianapolis Colts. Right. And then I want to mention the defense too, because we were down 28-20 early in the third quarter. It was not a very ideal situation for the Colts. And we were able to hunker down and we were able to hold the Broncos down the stretch. They didn't score another point after that, which is incredible. I got to give a lot of credit to our defense once again for holding down the Denver Broncos in pretty much the entire second half, especially in the fourth quarter where Denver was marching down the field and we were getting stops. We had we had a turnover at least in that game that we forced. And then we were able to make the plays when we need to. And then our kicker today was clutch when we needed him most. He was perfecto today for the Colts. And that was the difference right there was we had a kicker that made every one of his field goals. Denver had a kicker. He missed a field goal. So that was the difference right there. And that's the thing about the NFL is a lot of times the NFL is all about the difference of margins. And for, at least for this game here, we were able to win the margins when it mattered most, even in controversial fashion, even if it was less than ideal in a lot of cases. The Colts defense stepped up, and then the offense made plays when we need to. Even though I didn't like our red zone play calling in this game, I thought the Colts made the plays when we need to, and our kicker was just simply money today. And he was the big reason why we are 2-0 right now.
The Colts are 2-0, and they just beat a team expected to be in the playoffs. And we're talking about a one call. Will?
It's a pretty big call, considering it changed the outcome of the game.
Shane
What are we talking about?
Shane Steichen's play calling to that point was terrible because you can't bet on a penalty, and that field goal is no good if there's that penalty is not called. And it was all.
And that should be like the fourth thing that's brought up after all the good things that happened in the game. What the heck are we talking about here, guys?
Well, I was judged pretty hard last week for saying that Spencer Schrader is an impact player, and Greg Mengelt said, well, kickers don't matter. It doesn't matter. It mattered today.
No, they don't.
It mattered today, and it mattered last week, and it's going to matter every week because I get from 60 he missed a little right, but boy, he has been absolutely nails. He looks like a top, let's say, 6 kicker in the league right now. His extra points, everything. He's right down the... Right down 10 to 12. Are we watching the same NFL?
He still has a little to prove. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
They need to get Warren the ball more.
So far, he's been amazing. He hasn't missed a kick, has he?
No, he's perfect.
Everybody should be happy anytime the Broncos lose because the Broncos took a loss. It doesn't matter who they're losing to.
And how it happened.
I'm happy. Yeah, whatever. Just celebrate. Like, I was a little sad when they missed the first 60-yard field goal, and then I was happy when he made the second one. So, way to go! Shout out to Jonathan Taylor for making it possible. I was absolutely wrong about this game. I expected a defensive battle, and when I flipped over from the Fever game to the Colts Broncos game, it was way higher scoring in the first half than I even expected for the total.
I want to correct you a little, John. Jonathan Taylor and the offensive line.
Well, that's fair. I always try to give credit to the offensive line when you're talking about the running game because,
so good.
The running game doesn't happen without an offensive line.
And the game plan. And, Will, I wanted to bring this up with you. You talked about how bad Shane Steichen was in the fourth quarter, and it was bad. But hopefully it's something he'll learn from because he's not a dumb guy. Game plan through 3.5 quarters was brilliant.
I thought he was really creative, and that's why I found that last drive that they had to be just kind of annoying because it's like, why are we just running the ball up the middle? We can do more with this offense. I understand you want to work the clock and you don't want to give Denver the ball back, but that came at the sacrifice of forcing your kicker to have to make a really long field goal to do it. And I'm going to get hated on, I'm sure, when I say this. I'm not giving the offensive line 1 ounce of credit. I thought they played bad. Taylor made them look really good. Look at where his first contact was on a majority of those runs. Go back and watch the tape. He got hit early a lot and made just a lot out of nothing. And that's what Jonathan Taylor does. He makes that offensive line look better than they actually played. I thought it was a weaker performance by them, but you also have a good front four in Denver as well. This is a great win. You always want to go 2-0. You always want to be leading the division. It doesn't matter when. Just, we also have to be a little realistic and honest with the performance as well.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, and Sam, I thought Steichen was too, but I thought his fourth down call earlier in the game, I think, was it the first half? He had like 4th and 1, and they put Taylor to the left in the backfield, Warren to the right, and he handed off to Warren to run a cut. And I'm like, you don't hand it off to a big tight end who does not have an initial burst of speed without some kind of fake. I'm sitting there going, it would have been perfect play call if you run some kind of like crossback where you fake to Taylor and he goes and then you give it to Warren. But asking him to make a cut, which he kind of tripped up and did and lost steam. I'm thinking 4th and 1. If I have both of them back there, if I'm not going to use Taylor as a decoy, I'm handing them the ball then. Because I like his ability to get the yard better than Warren.
Sam, right decision to go there, but really bad play call.
Just terrible execution all around. I mean, 4th and 1 in midfield, I can get the attempt to go for it, obviously, in that situation. Just terrible play call across the board. I thought the first half of the game, to be quite honest with you, looked very much like the Colts from last year, if we're going to be completely honest. The energy just wasn't quite there. We had a lot of breakdowns.
Their first 4 drives.
Yeah, but what, 2 or 3 field goals?
I know, but they still went up and down the field on Denver the whole game.
Yeah, but when you get stuffed inside the 10, repeat, and you're selling for field goals, that's not a good recipe.
No, of course not. But there was no point in this game where the offense didn't look pretty sharp.
But we also had breakdowns defensively in the first half too.
Oh, the defense was horrible.
We had miscommunication all across the board.
Overcame a bad defensive performance for sure.
Yeah, I felt completely confident in the Colts getting the ball. I thought the offense moved well. You do always want 7. And Jones on that first drive missed one down the seam to Josh Downs on what was a beautifully ran route. That should have been 7, and you settle for 3 there. And I think that's where Sam's seeing kind of reminiscent of last year's Indianapolis Colts. But down the stretch, I just thought that it was why you went away from Warren, you went away from Michael Pittman. And I think that those are players that you have to force the ball to and let our best playmakers go be that. I like getting Pierce involved. I like getting Downs. I like getting Adonai Mitchell involved. But at the same time, you've just got to sometimes force balls to your stars and say, hey, go make football plays. The Bengals never don't get Jamar Chase the ball. The Vikings always find a way to get Jefferson the ball. Why can't the Colts do the same?
You're right, Will. Three playmakers with Taylor too. I love the swing passes they threw. They found something there and they went to it. And I couldn't believe Denver didn't adjust it. The very first one that went for a big play when Jonathan Taylor went in motion, I'm like, this is going to be a swing pass. And
they found a weakness.
And it was a huge gainer.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved watching his game today. I thought Taylor was phenomenal today.
He was so good, so good.
I thought they did a great job getting Jonathan Taylor involved all across the field today. They need to do that more often because one of my bigger complaints last year was we never got JT involved enough in the passing game. As crazy as a running back, he's just as good in the passing game as well. That's what made JT one of the best running backs in the NFL is his speed to be able to separate himself from other players. That's what made Jonathan Taylor one of the better running backs out there. We need to do a better job of utilizing him more consistently throughout the course of the game. And we talked about how we need JT more in games like this where Denver's going to challenge us a little bit more in specific play actions and situations, whatnot. JT did an excellent job of finding his routes, and we did a good job adjusting to fit JT's scheme. I just think we were just a little bit inconsistent in the first half with play calling in the red zone, and then our defensive miscommunication was an issue. But obviously, our kicker did his job, and we made some great adjustments defensively in the second half. I want to give another credit to Cross and Bynum on defense. I thought those two did a great job, particularly with Bynum with the interception deep in our end as well. That was huge for us to make that comeback for the Colts. So I give the defense a lot.
Well, and give Kenny Moore his props too early because in the first half, he was the only good thing about the Colts secondary.
He was so good.
Howard is just he's just not good.
He was brutal.
He was a 4-time All-Pro, and he just is not that guy anymore, and that's why the Dolphins let him go, clearly. I will say this, Charvarius Ward 2 years ago was an all-pro and made every play imaginable. Last year wasn't quite as good, but he makes a huge difference on that defense. Clearly.
Yeah, him and Jalen Jones.
Yes, absolutely. But in particular, Ward, he had a season 2 years ago where every game it seemed like he was making a game-winning play. And he was that good. And they missed him. And did you guys know that the Colts are 2-0?
Yep.
I
Yes.
did.
It was
I did
awfully
know that.
somber mood coming into this room.
Hey, but I'm going to join you again. I thought Daniel Jones had another nice
Fantastic.
performance. I thought he runs that offense. He runs that offense so well and looks so confident in it, even when he's under pressure. And it's going
Like
to
Will
be
has
interesting
said-
to see.
Like
But I
Will
will
has
say
said,
this.
he will be exposed one day, but it has not been yet.
I'm only going to say this. I'm probably a little ticked at the Colts because they closed the roof and they closed the window today. And I'm sitting there going, if you're not going to have those open on sunny 80-degree days, then by golly, you cost, as a taxpayer who, when you go out for entertainment down in Marion County and Hamilton County and all those counties, you pay an extra tax. It ticks me off a little bit. You didn't need to have a retractable roof for a window that opens if you're not going to have it open on nice days.
Hey guys, did you hear the Colts won and they're 2-0?
Sold a lead in the
Yes,
division
we've
too.
been told.
That's right. Did you guys know that? Wow.
And just who we play next week? We play
I want
Tennessee.
to know the positive to negative ratio on this podcast after the Colts beat the Broncos, because it's just blowing my mind, guys. I thought we were
I'm
going to.
happy. The Broncos lost. I'm happy about that.
We
I'm
were all
happy.
going to get on here and there's going to be music playing in the background. Celebrate good times. Come on. And instead it's, we won a game and it was lucky.
I mean, it just kind of felt like when you get into a fight on the playground, your mom takes you out for ice cream and you got your ass beat. You got ice cream in the end, but boy, it didn't feel good having to get there.
I feel like we won the fight.
If you really want to from an outside perspective, Greg, I have to agree that like the story is not going to be who won this game, because I mean for Colts fans it's a big deal, yay, but like for the national media for the national media they're going to be talking about the call at the
Hey
end.
Sam, what's the Colts record?
All I heard is 2-0.
Hey
Beautiful
Sam,
record.
what's the Broncos record?
1-1.
That's right. Bottom line, am I wrong?
No,
Hey Michelle, what's the Colts record? who won today?
The Colts are 2-0.
what's-
I still don't think they'll win their division. I do think they'll challenge for it, but
I don't know how you can't analyze his performance the last 2 weeks and say Daniel Jones in this offense this year looks like he could be a real impact player.
All right, guys, let me finish by saying this. The Colts play the Titans next week, then a tough game out in LA with the Rams, and then the shitty Raiders at home. They could be 4-1.
Listen, I'm going to the Raiders game. I wouldn't count on that dub.
That was for you. Guys, thank you so much. I just want to remind you guys and everybody else out there that the Colts are 2-0, and that is a reason to celebrate. I don't care how it happened. I don't care any of the extenuating circumstances and the play calls, and the Colts are 2-0.
Can we get a sack for free McNuggets though? Like, that's got to happen.
they didn't get a sack today, did they?
No.
Bastards.
1-1 for morale today.
We're going to have to buy our own nuggets now?
Big win, but kind of a big loss on the downswing of
We
that
pay
too.
you go to hell. His fault.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back with a more in-depth evaluation first thing Thursday morning. Subscribe and share this podcast with a Colts friend in your life, and help spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here, talking about Central Indiana sports every single day. that spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here talking about Central Indiana sports every
The
single
Central
day.
Indiana Sports Report is a product of IPG Media, and I love Susie. Yeah.